Come along with me at my journey as I declutter our 1960s 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom home. This cabinet here underneath of the stovetop really shows the age of this house. You can see that the shelving is warped and the walls are stained. This cabinet does not excite me at all, and that is why I have put it off this long. And to be honest, I cannot believe that I was able to function this long with it looking like this. Because as you can see, this is where I store my main pots and pans that I use to cook. But it's one of those things where I would reach in, grab what I need, and slam the cupboard shut. But now that the kids are back in school and my baby is taking a nap, it is time for me to get back to this decluttering journey. I've taken a bit of a decluttering hiatus over the summer just because it is too hard to do it while all of the kids are here running around. I did manage to squeeze in one large declutter, which was my personal closet. But that's besides the point. I finished my Bloom Energy drink and emptied everything out and got to work. Out of all of the decluttering projects I've done so far, this cabinet actually had the least amount of junk inside. I kept almost everything other than this one single pan right here because I no longer cook with Teflon. So I did decide to donate that. The other things that were in here really were just misplaced. Like this little meat shredder and this veggie chopper. I didn't want to get rid of them, but they definitely don't belong here underneath of the stove with pots and pans. Then also little things like this mini crock pot and this food staker. I decided that they made way more sense in the Lazy Susan here with the other crock pots. Now that I went through the clutter that was underneath of here and put some things away, it was time to tackle this disgusting mess. As you can see, these shelf liners were not the vibe at all. Pots and pans on top of it were too heavy and lifted them up and shifted them around all of the time. They were bent and squished and just really never worked underneath of here. When I tell you it felt amazing to rip them out and throw them away, I mean, I really don't know what that stuff that was sticking to the wood surface was, but I did my best to peel it off. At this point in the project, it was time to bust out my handy dandy Bissell. I absolutely love this little handheld vacuum. It works so well. After vacuuming, it was time to put the gloves on and start scrubbing. And believe it or not, the water actually wasn't that dirty after finishing this project. I really think a lot of that nasty looking stuff is just grease stains from the stove. And there's not a whole lot right now that I can do about that. In a perfect world, I would love to redo this whole kitchen and get all new cabinets. But that's really not in the budget right now, so I'm just working with what I have. Giving it a good deep clean really made me feel a lot better. This gave me the opportunity to scrub the doors as well. It's been a hot minute since I've done this, since we moved in really, which was 5 years ago. Maybe gross to some, but when you have little kids, every day is a fight for your life. You don't always have time to get on your hands and knees and scrub every little nook and cranny in your house. But that's why when there's moments like these and you have a little bit of a break, you capitalize on it. Go figure, I ended up having an allergy attack in the middle of this project. But when there's a will, there's a way, and I was not about to give up. And at this point, my husband was actually home, so I snuck off to the Dollar Tree real quick and got some shelf liner. And as you can see, I changed as well because I was starting to get hot. This project was a lot more work than I bargained for. And anyone who ever dealt with sticky shelf liner knows it's a giant pain in the ass. This stuff is really hard to work with, but in the end, it's usually worth it. I was really happy with the way that this came out, and it definitely is a band-aid over the real problem, but for now, it looks so much better. Now is the fun part and my favorite part where I get to put everything away and organize. I had no real plan going into this. I just kind of moved and shifted things around until I liked the way that it looked. I put things I don't use on a daily basis in the back or in the corners. And of course, the stars of the show are my favorite pots and pans that I reach for on a daily basis. Okay, this may not be perfect, but you could not tell me that this doesn't look so much better. I literally cannot wait to cook now. I'm gonna absolutely love my life.